Maya Moontag, and welcome to my Filipino adventure. This is Mike in America. Yna is back in the Philippines. Happy Sunday to everyone, and I just wanted to do a follow-up. This one's going to kind of be kind of a part two, or a the yin yang of the should I send my Filipino family money. And so this is a very similar one, but it was from all the comments that I've been getting on that one. And that is, should you send your Filipina money? And I guess there's a lot of schools of thought on this. There's a lot of different circumstances involved. Now, does she have a job? Does she live in the city or even in the country? I know a lot, or a lot of the ones I chatted to first at the beginning, they were working overseas. So there's no reason to send them money. They're working, right? But if they're at home and they're working, you probably really don't need to send them money. If they're living in the province, where work is a lot harder to find, or if they are working and not making very much money, do you really, or should you really, I guess you should say, send money to your Filipino? How often? How much? I guess this is a pretty big topic. You can leave your comments below. Now, I want to start off by saying, with the other about the family, Yna had never ever asked me to send. She she asked me to send money to her family. That's never been the issue. That was more just a topic of discussion. Nothing really going on in my own life. It was just more for discussion. Now, a lot of people I read do send money home, or do send money to their Filipino family every month or sometimes. So that was the topic of that one. But I just want to state that Yna has never asked me, except for one time. Her mother went into, I think it was it Bayawan or Dumaguete, or I don't know, one of the bigger towns around her, to get a colonoscopy. And they had just enough money for that. I know that her mom has some stomach issues. And while they were there, the doctor wanted to do an endoscopy too, and they didn't have enough for that. So I did send her, it was like a last minute thing. And they said, well, we can do it or not do it. And I said, no, they're there. They're going to do this. Let's do both of them. And I sent her the money. That, and I think I sent some money once, not that Yna even asked. I just came back from vacation. I thought, you know what? I feel like doing something nice. I'm going to send her some money to restock her Sorry store. And then I gave her strict instructions to say, now this is a one-time thing. With this money that I'm sending you to restock your store, you should never have to ask me again. Don't spend all the money. If you spend some, if it costs 5 pesos and you sell it for 8 pesos, you've only made 3 pesos. You didn't make 8 pesos. You have to restock that. And she's never asked me for any money again for her start. And that was, we're going on 2 years now. So now where Yna lives, and this might be true for a lot of my subscribers and viewers, Yna lives in a very small province, a little barangay outside of a little town. Hinobaan's not a very large town, and she's just in a small barangay outside of that. And there's really no work. There's a few resorts, and they're pretty much filled with workers. There's no really restaurants, or in her town, there's really nothing. She doesn't have a car. The family doesn't have a car. She doesn't even drive. So there's really no access. Now, she worked overseas many times. She worked in Malaysia. She worked in Indonesia. She worked in Hong Kong. I think she worked in Japan. She worked overseas, and she's always worked. So when we met, she was off contract. She had just come home, I think in December, off contract from working overseas, and I had met her in April. So the whole thing is, does she go back overseas and work? Well, no, I don't want her to get a 2 or 3 year contract and be going overseas to work. I want to be able to come visit her. So I told her no. And then, so there's no work where she lives. There's no work that's really going to pay much. And remember this too. They have to pay for their cell phones. They have to pay for electricity. So if you want to speak to your Filipina, it's going to cost money that usually they don't have. So I don't feel bad about sending Yna a couple hundred pesos. I'm sorry, a couple $100. It's not even that. I think it's usually like 150. And some months, it's not like a regular thing. it's like every, once a month or once every 6 weeks or something. I'll say, hey, how are you doing on money? And sometimes she'll say, no, I'm fine. No, I still have money left over from last time. She's not trying to get money out of me, is my point. Actually, I had left about almost $3,000 in a bank in her name in the Philippines when I left last time, because we were going to buy some property and it didn't work out, and I had some money already there. I said, you know what, just put it in your bank account, and if we need to dip into it once in a while, go take money out. And she gives me updates. She shows me her passbook, how much is in there at all times. She asks me before she can take anything, and she's really, really good about money. Now, at one point, she said, when the visa was taking quite a long time to get going, she said, all right, I found a job in Dumaguete. A friend of mine works at this restaurant. I think the pay was like 180 pesos a day. But I guess you get a little bit of tips. I'm not sure how the tipping situations work in the Philippines. In the U.S., you can live off your tips. If you're at a nice restaurant, you can make pretty good money. But I'm not sure how I know the tips are small, and I'm not sure if they get to keep it all. But anyway, so I figured it out, how much you'd make a week, how much you'd make a month, and she was all ready to do it. And I'm real financially motivated when it comes to that stuff, being a business owner. I said, well, listen, you're going to be only making this much a month. I forgot the figures off the top of my head, but it should be easy to figure out. You're only making this much. Okay, then where are you going to live? Okay, boarding house. How much is the boarding house? Is this much? Oh my God, that's a big chunk of it right there. Okay, and then besides the restaurant, if they don't give you food, you're going to have to eat outside that, right? So plus you're going to need, a few toiletries and things like that. So basically, you're going to have left over about $100 a month. That's the only profit you're going to be making after you pay for living in Dumaguete. And that's sharing a boarding house with someone, a little tiny, tiny room. So that's where I said, I tell you what, don't go get a job there. Not that I don't want her to work. I said, it's really not worth it. Stay home, and I will send you that $100 a month. And then you don't even have to work. And this way, I know she's home safe with her family. She does watch her sister's kids, Dylan and Brendan. She gets to watch them. She has the Sorry Sorry store, which makes a little bit of money, but it's her mom's store, so the money goes to the family. And, and she's my girl. So sometimes I'll send her some pesos. I say, you know what, go buy yourself some clothes. Or she has to go travel once in a while. She had to go to Dumaguete not that long ago. Her videos was on that. Go to Dumaguete to meet her sister. Was getting off work, a contract on a cruise ship, and she was going to Dumaguete, and she wanted to go down there and get her in Dumaguete and bring her back home. So there you go. Here's some money. Go down there, take cake because it's their birthday. I paid for the resort. So you treat them once in a while. I think it's just natural to do that, to want to take care of your girlfriend. Now, she's not a money digger, not at all. She never, ever asks for money. And then sometimes I'll forget to even ask her if she has any money, and then I'll say something, and she says, well, I can't really because there's no more funds left. She doesn't ask me. She'll drop a hint once in a while. She'll say, well, if you want me to do this, I can't because I'm out of money at this point. And so she's really, really, really good with money. She never asks for money. The money I sent is I think me just taking care of her. See how we're doing the time. I tend to jabber a lot. So I see people say, never send it. You're on a slippery slope. You're just asking for it to send them money. It's your money. Let them make their own money. Now, I can see that about the family. But if it's your Filipina, I think that's a different story. So that's where I stand on that. Like I said, I just like to take care of her, and it's really not much. I quit smoking. That was $7 a day. That's $200 a month. There you go. Send it to her. She can, buy a few things, pay for her phone, buy her loads, buy some food once in a while, and I know she gives some of it to her mother sometimes, or indirectly she helps support the house with it, which is fine. It's the money that I gave her, and if that's what she feels that it's necessary to do, then there you go. So I want to thank everyone for watching the channel, and wow, we really had to jump in subscribers in the last couple of days. We're still a small channel. There's so many different Filipino vloggers out there, and we're kind of in an odd situation where she's not here living with me. I'm not there living with her. I'm not in the Philippines. She is. It's called a Filipino vlogging channel, even though I'm here in Michigan. It's kind of we're kind of an odd channel because I wanted people to experience both sides. Like, this is what it's like when you have a Filipino who lives overseas, and how we deal with it and the issues that come up. Pretty soon she'll be moving here, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Then I get to show her everything, and I think it's gonna be pretty exciting for the channel also. So anyway, so let's wrap this up. Please subscribe. If you haven't, go ahead. There'll be a little link at the end of the video. If you have, hit the little bell, and that will notify you when I get new videos up. And like, subscribe, and comment. I want to read your comments about this down below here, so do that right now. And as always, stay kind. In my case, stay warm. And as always, stay classy.